kill a god? What a grand and intoxicating innocence. I'm a god. How can you kill a god? Shame on you, sweet Metaphor. I'm a god. I'm a god. I'm a god. God. I'm a god. I'm a god. I'm a god. Well, the moon and star, come to me through fire and war. Oh, come, Nerevar, come and look upon the heart. Upon the heart. Oh, lay down your weapons. It is not too late for my mercy. Oh, come and look upon the heart. Upon the heart. Oh, I'm a god. How can you kill a god? What a grand and intoxicating innocence. I'm a god. How can you kill a god? Shame on you, sweet Metaphor. I'm a god. I'm a god. I'm a god. God. I'm a god. I'm a god. I'm a god. No recall or intervention can work in this place. There is no escape. No recall or intervention can work in this place. There is no escape. No recall or intervention can work in this place. There is no escape. No recall or intervention can work in this place. There is no escape. Oh, I'm a god. How can you kill a god? What a grand and intoxicating innocence. I'm a god. How can you kill a god? Shame on you, sweet Metaphor. I'm a god. I'm a god. I'm a god. God. I'm a god. I'm a god. I'm a god. Well, the moon and star, come to me through fire and war. Oh, come, Nerevar, come and look upon the heart. Upon the heart. Oh, lay down your weapons. It is not too late for my mercy. Oh, come and look upon the heart. Upon the heart. Oh, I'm a god. How can you kill a god? What a grand and intoxicating innocence. I'm a god. How can you kill a god? Shame on you, sweet Metaphor. I'm a god. I'm a god. I'm a god. God. I'm a god. I'm a god. I'm a god. Well, the moon and star, come to me through fire and war. Oh, come, Nerevar, come and look upon the heart. Upon the heart. Oh, lay down your weapons. It is not too late for my mercy. Oh, come and look upon the heart. Upon the heart. Oh, I'm a god. How can you kill a god? What a grand and intoxicating innocence. I'm a god. How can you kill a god? Shame on you, sweet Metaphor. I'm a god. I'm a god. I'm a god. God. I'm a god. I'm a god. I'm a god. No recall or intervention can work in this place. There is no escape.
Audio check. Audio. Gotta check me audio. Doc, I am here to deliver a message to you in regards to my project. Hopefully, you'll find it as amusing as I do. Now talk. Is that it? All I can hear is my phone. Doc, I am here to deliver a message to you in regards to my project. Hopefully, you'll find it as amusing as I. Get out of here. Fuck off! I need not you being here. Bye. What are we going to do today? It's gonna be a quick one because I have things to do. I need to go outside, do some adulting there, then I need to get some time stamping done for my friend's video. I still have like 15 hours of video to go through, so good luck to me. But other than that, let us begin. So where did we pick off last time? We picked up, I think I just finished Placibita's yeah, I just finished Placibita's proofreading, so we're done with this guy. So we're good with him. Now we're going to Lilith Lex. Now, I did something rather interesting yesterday, actually. I made a timeline. And it's not even complete. I didn't even put the date when the file axes were made and everything, so we're missing a few. There's a bit few that's missing in the timeline. It's one thing is for sure, the file axes were made after the victory, so somewhere around here. And other things too. I just need, yeah, this is here to help me actually more than you people. You people! If I can remember the series of events, right? And add a bit more. But this will undoubtedly expand as we continue doing all this. So that is a guarantee. But yes, so far this is the timeline. So far. Yes. So I did that. This is after the pantheon. Now, funny thing is, I might just do this for all other creature dogs. Just, I don't know. I might. Actually, I have a question though. So the header is like universal, right? Can I make a new header? Like per chapter? Like for example, I want to put in here. Right? Actually, need to do something about this. This should not be that. This should be like this. Oh, fuck off. Yeah, we're changing things here. We're changing. This should be Ispismyong. There you go. We're doing some little changings. Changing maroonies. Yeesh. Ismyong. There you go. It should be capitalized too. Yeah, you should be all capitalized. How can I all capitalize this? All caps. Is there an easy way to make them all caps? Is there, or do I have to type it manually because I'm an idiot? You know what? Whatever. Species. Is that how you spell it? Dude, it looks weird when you look at it like that. It really does look weird. There are words that look weird when you spell them out with all caps. Maybe it's because I'm not used to seeing it, or maybe it is really an incorrect spelling in Word is just not recognizing it. No, that is how you spell species. No, sure. Okay. We do be changing some things. Is it? Should I put in subspecies or something? Okay. I need to be inspired. Animal Kingdom. Yeah, I think I might just do Pylum, Pyla, whatever. Not that. Wow, really? Fuck off. Oh, fuck off. I'm not looking for the stupid show. Oh my, it's not the show. Not the show. Yeah, this is annoying. This is fucking annoying. But like biology is fuck you. I need a chart. Okay. In biology, a kingdom is the secondary highest taxonomic rank. Just below domain. Kingdoms are divided into smaller groups called phyla. So, life, domain. Okay. So, life, kingdom. Plantae animalia. So it should be phylum then. Or genus. A species is way down over here. So what is a genus then? Okay, I need to know. Okay, what's this? Life to species chart. Taxonomic rank. Okay. Now I need to know what they mean, each and every one. So family group, superfamily, family, tribe. There are rules applying to the following taxonomical ranks. Code of zoological nomenclature, superfamily, family, tribe, genus, subgenus, species, subspecies. So I think the term I'm looking for is subspecies. Genus, I think, is where are the reptiles at? Right? Genus is a taxonomical rank above species and below family, used for a biological classification of living and fossil organisms as well as viruses. In the binomial nomenclature, the genus names the first part of the binomial species name for each species of the genus. So we're talking about Panthera leo, lion, Panthera onca, jaguar, are two species within the same genus Panthera. Panthera is a genus within the family Felidae. So cats, felines, then the types of cats. So we have lions, those are genus. I think I'm not getting that. So composition of genus depends on taxonomy. Standard genus classification not codified. So different authorities often produce different classifications of genera. There are also general practices used, however, including the idea of newly genified genus. So, okay, so if I'm going to do this, the species would be Astari. Then Astra would be a subspecies. Right? That's what I'm getting here. The species group. So the species is an Astra. So what about birds? Where do birds belong? Right? Where do reptiles belong? So are there in a genus? That's why I need to know. Reptiles genus? Not a genus. In a broader group, I am identified as taxonomic Paphalia. The genus is more specific rank, closely related species, whereas reptiles and mammals aren't. So this is. So it's much more smaller then. So what is it then? I need to know. Reptiles commonly kingdom animal. for data played sort of speed class. So there are classes here. Oh, okay. So we don't need to go through here. This is too much. So class. This is what I need. This is what I need. Okay. Order Carnivora. The family is Canidae. Genus is Vulpes. Species is Vulpes vulpes. Fox fox. It's fox fox. Okay, now I get it. So reptiles, mammals go here. So with my wording, we're fine with that then. So Astra is a subspecies of the Astari. Got it? It's not a name. Now, that's going to be tricky because that's... That's why Pokemon just do types. Bird Pokemon. Ball Pokemon. Okay. Oh, because they're the species, the race is the... Then the other divisions are now considered subspecies. So if I'm going to do that, and it's not going to confuse people, right? It's not a name, it's the name of the species. You know what I'm saying? They're now considered as a different kind of animal, a subspecies of the Astari. So if I'm going to do that, do it like this. Species Astari. It's going to be different then if we're going to do that. It's not a name. It's the species. Yeah, for actual animals, it's going to be called like this, right? Okay. Then below that, yeah, I guess they're gonna be... No, they're gonna be a subspecies then. I need to present that. Because their species is the Astra, and they're just basically offshoots, like subspecies, right? So from what I'm getting, your birds are under reptile? They're not. They're separate then. I need to see tree of life. Taxonomy. Biology rather. Yeah, no. It's not what I mean. Well, it's called research. All the sentences of title text on the web together. This is called the classification. Yeah, because a name is a name, the name of the animal, right? Name. Guess we'll find the same, because there are offshoots. There are more. There are not. Astra is not the only one that's an Astari subspecies. It's quite reduced. I'm trying to think. Should I go with phylum? Because, or rather, yeah, family. Yeah, I'm gonna make them their own thing. Yeah, because we humans are mammals. I guess we're, I don't know what order are we. We're gonna be primates. We're gonna be humans. Or rather, homos than humans. So how am I gonna present this? Because Astra is technically a subspecies of the Astari. Right? No, I don't need to do that. Let's just call it species then, or we should be fine with that. I don't know, it doesn't sound right. If I put subspecies here, it's gonna feel like Astra is above the Astari, you know what I'm saying? Subspecies of Astari, yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Hello, Dinisium. Oh, voice a bit low. Hello. How about this? Maybe it's because I'm on a very low voice mode. But either way, let me go back. Mic. Increasing the volume. Going with the mic. Mic. Microphone settings. Oh, I know what's going on here. Give me a moment. I think what's happening is the fan is getting caught by my mic, and it's causing the voice cancellation to kill my voice. You know what I'm saying? Because the constant stream of flowing air is constantly impacting the mic. So regardless of whether I speak or not, my voice cancellation software is going to be like, oh, nope. So I think that is why I am low. So I turned the fan away from me, and hopefully that would fix that. It is good now. Very good. So yeah, I'm doing a little bit of a scientific thing here. So give me a moment, because I'm trying to think of a way to present this, right? Because if I just put that, right? So no, because it's not a genus. The Astari is not a genus, unless I make Astari a genus, which is dumb. They are technically subspecies because they can still do the nasty. So I think the best thing to do it is just make it as messy like this. Subspecies. Yeah, that's it. That is it. Yeah, I think that is it. That is what we need to do. It's a little bit messy, and I kind of don't like it. Because here it's much more. If I go here with the gods, it looks better like that. Right? Here it looks a bit messy with Astra, because it's not technically, the name is not a person name. No, it's not a. It's a name of the subspecies. So I'm just gonna do that. Unless I just swallow the bullet and just put in genus. You can just put, oh yeah, that works too. You know what? That works. Yeah, that is the thing though. Yeah, you know what? Just to be safe, because I don't want to assume people read the other rule books when they get to this, right? They might just go with this first. You know, let's just make it. I am declaring now that that Astari is also a genus and a species. Alright? They are both a genus and a species. But no dot. We hate dots. So yeah. I have declared now, moving forward, that the Astari are both a genus and a species. Save me a lot of trouble, that one. So, okay. Moving on. We're removing that. Okay, here is a simulacra. Moving on. Because yeah, once I get to the actual creatures, I plan to put in like a Draconid, whatever. Yornidae, you know, a little bit of a flavor. So we're going with that. Yo, you are not a simulacra, you are just an Astari. There you go. Aurelion Ainoboros is one. Because he has the crown. 2 spikes. So we're doing that. There you go. Horadses is not. That's why he turned himself into a cyborg. Because he is jealous of his siblings, because they are able to ascend into simulacron forms. See, his sister has 2 of them, much like his brother. He's the odd one out. And yeah, by the way, I already did this. I'll show you guys the timeline later because like I lost my mind with tracking all the events, at least the major events. So what I end up doing is this. We have a timeline now, people. It's not even complete. It's not even complete because there are other things I forgot and just realized, oh shit, I should have added this. Like the invention of the file axes. I forgot about that. I didn't put in here. I should have put that in, but I think for now that is the most, well, it's not really that important as to know when they were made. This is all the major events so far, right? And I put in some flavor ones too. But yeah, I have a timeline now of events. Next time I'm gonna write a doc where there are dates or at least years in order. But for now, this is how the timeline looks like. At least you have an estimated year or division of how short or how near the events occurred one another. So yeah, we're at the point now, people, that I'm making references because the timeline is rather getting too big. There's a lot of things going on now, and I really don't like to 100% rely on AI telling me things about my work because most of the time I end up correcting it. So yeah, here we go. And we'll see. But continue with our little editing. Ebersage. Your species is an Astari. You are not a simulacra. You do not have a crown. Are they on a different height on purpose? Oh, you mean the circle things? No. The circles? The blues? No. They're not. It's just hard to align. It's triggering your OCD, huh? Yeah, they're just hard to align. Because here's my problem with this timeline. That's why I kind of want to use something else, but I already committed to it. So whatever. It's not really final anyway. But this is this timeline thing. Whenever you add more to it, it gets smaller and smaller to the point it's no longer readable. So what I did is just either stretch it out like this, add another one like this, so it doesn't get too small. See, look at that. The more you add into it, the smaller the text gets, and it's quite annoying. So look at here. So that's why it's sometimes misaligned. Is there some sort of a graph type on Word that can do something? This is it. This is it. You go here and insert, then see, you go here and insert, then you go Smart Art. There you go. This is where it is. See? Timelines. You get to choose which pattern you want. I chose the default one, the one that doesn't look like. There you go. This one, right here. But like I said, the more you add into it, the smaller and smaller and smaller the word gets. And here's a funny thing. The circle things don't adjust when you add. So I need to move them around. Right? I need to move them around. So, because it does not make sense considering the timeline we're talking about here. Some of the events are rather near to one another when they happen. So I need to move the circles around. And sometimes it just misaligns itself. It's my fault. My OCD, I am fighting my OCD right now. I'm fighting my OCD right now to align all of these. Maybe top to bottom would work better. Text can be longer and not in a box type. Oh, you mean it goes down like this? Like that? It's an odd way to do a timeline, to be honest. If I don't know. It's an odd way to do a timeline. Up and down, like it goes down. Another way I could do a timeline is this is what I did with this is what I have done with the other timeline I have. Here's the other timeline I made for the other story / setting I made. See, it's just like that. That's it. There's no fancy graphics or anything. It's just the date and what happened. And it just progresses forward. I think this is something I prefer to do. Because at least I can put in a little summary of what happened. Because this is the first time I experiment in doing that type of timeline. But yeah. I might redo it and just look for a better graphic. Or just do it like this. You can do one of those lens type effects to enhance on a cramped region. Explain it on a... How do we do that? How do we do that? I don't know about that. Oh, never mind. I got what you mean. I get what you mean. Dude. Okay. Yeah, I have an idea what's going on. I can do. What I can do, I think I got your idea here. What I can do is, I can redo this, right? But for now, it stays as it is because it's more of a reference. But once I get to the actual thing, I might redo, oh rather, I will redo this. And what I might do is, what I have is, imagine a timeline like this, right? But if an event is quite long like this, what I might do is just put in a header, then below the timeline there will be an explanation for it, like a little glossary or something, right? So imagine this header here, then text box over here explaining what the header is, so at least they have the title of what's going on. Then the ones that has a lot of text will be below. That's something I can do. I can put them at least either below the timeline, the graphic, or something like that. That is something that I can also do. Or another thing is because I also kind of underestimated how many events I had for the Ancient Era, to be honest. I was thinking the Ancient Era would be the shortest. But no, it was a mistake. So yeah, the Ancient Era was quite long. There's a lot of events that apparently I already have placed in it, because a lot of the major events with the gods and their setup happens in the Ancient Era. So what I'm gonna do probably is for example, one page will be just the Ancient Era, then second page will be just the Crisis Era and the Celestial Order, then the next will be just the New Founding, something like that. That's another thing we can do, so we can focus it down and not look chismy with all these. Actually, I can even remove the dots, to be honest. If the dots are causing too much annoyance, I can just remove them and replace them with a different thing, something that is actually more thematic to the setting. I can draw something like that. The other thing I'm thinking is like this. Now let me just open Krita. I don't actually, does Word have that? Because I think that would be a lot more pleasing to look at for me actually. Another thing I'm thinking, let's see if they have it. Everything is too stylized, see? Everything is too stylized. The other thing I am thinking of is a simple Maybe something like that, but on a straight line. The picture, and then you have to name long periods of time, but not only circles. Yeah. Oh, yeah, sorry. Let me just show you what I'm thinking of. Oh, it didn't send. Yeah, you can only send links if you're a mod for YouTube chat. They removed that because it's anti-bot. It's anti-bot because a lot of bots would send, hey, check out this channel. Or check out this streaming service. We have more audiences here than YouTube, something like that. So here's what I have in mind. Okay, this might be the same as what you're suggesting, Denisium. Is something like this. Imagine this, right? Get out of my face. Okay, imagine this. Straight line. This is the timeline. Then we have here a line, explain event. Another line here, explain event. Something like that. Then over here would have the name of the timeline, like 500 years, something, 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 right? That's another way and much more cleaner, and I don't need to worry about stupid circles. But Word does not have something like that. I have to do it manually. If I am gonna do it right now, unless there's another way for me to do it externally, and I can just copy paste it. Because that was my original vision for it. It's just a straight line with a title and that and that. But Word does not have it. It only has this, and this is the most simplest one they have. And unfortunately, it does weird things when I add a lot to it. Like literally, if I add more and more, the text will become smaller and smaller and smaller. Like for some reason, someone at Microsoft thought that was a good idea. And here's the funny thing. It does not even scale. It does not even know what you're doing in timeline. For example, when I do this, let's go here. Let me show you guys what I mean. So when I go here, set up a new timeline like this thing right here, right? So if I move this dot, if I add more, see, it goes smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller to the point it's no longer readable, and it does not adjust the dots. No, the only thing that gets smaller is the text, but the dots remain the same. So having a timeline that has a lot of events that happening in it, that's very much, that the time in between them is very short, is rather tismy. I have to manually move the dots, and regardless of how many dots or how near the dots are, when you add more, it's gonna assume the dot starts here. So it's gonna keep on reducing the text smaller and smaller and smaller until it looks like that. So that's why, like I said, here it looks like this. This is actually two timeline graphs that I just smudged together. So yeah, it's not exactly what I want. But let's look at the Wikipedia geological time scale. Oh, dude, yeah, this could work too. My mate, dude, this could work. I get what you mean. Denisium. So, here's what I think you mean with this. Here's what I think you mean. So, imagine this, right? I think this could work too. So, it's like this. Let's put it here. So, here's the timeline. So, it goes down, right? So, here's the ancient era, 7,500 years. Here's the void form crisis. Then here's the cosmic order, and this is the new founding. I get that. So here's the timeline. So it already tells you how long it is, right? So I just put here 7,500, 600, 568, 1,050. And the events will be over here like this. Like that. Or, here's another thing I can do with that. I could just list the events over here with the dates. Like this, the little graphic like that, and here's the dates, all of them listed here. That could be done as well. That is something that can be done as well. Right? Or have it be one massive block like this. One massive block like this. And it says ancient era. This ancient era 7,000 blah 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 blah. Then event, 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 event. That's another thing I could do. Then on the next page, same thing. Yeah, the second one is what I meant by lens effect. Yeah, gotcha. So yeah, those are a couple of ideas that I could do. I'm either gonna go for the one I said earlier, the one that just the line and just these, and these. Right? But I am also tempted to do it just like this. Timeline, I mean, ancient era, whatever, blah blah blah, then event, event, event. I'm also tempted in doing that. But for now, I'll settle on that this monstrosity right here. We'll worry about that once I get to redoing the actual timeline. Because for now, we are still developing the story. Because yeah, another main problem with this, and that's why I'm really leaning on the idea that you gave me with the geological style, do a straight block like that. It's much more easier to insert new events on it if I do it like that. But I can't do it on a landscape style. It has to be on the default page style like this. See, it will be much more easier if I do the table this layout rather than this layout, because this does not have enough space. And yeah, like I said, it's much more easier to insert events with that because I can just type it in. Here, I need to worry about a Tismi ball that misaligns itself whenever I move it, and I have no grid to use as a way to make sure they're all aligned. So yeah, it is quite Tismi. I don't like this one. But it is a placeholder, so for now, you shall be what you are. And let's go ahead and continue with the speciation bullshit. Okay. Okay, this is what I need to copy. Well, I'll be getting to Draconid soon. I think we are actually going to the dragons now. Or not yet. Nope, yep, there you go. First dragon. Okay, you are the name. There you go, and you are a Draconid. Draconid, not Draconic. Draconic, actually. No, Draconic is more of a descriptor. Draconid is the species. Okay. Or you could call them dragons. Save you a lot of time. But I might interchange them, actually. In my infinitism, Most likely we'll interchange Draconid and Draconic. Okay, that way people will be, it will be clear, hopefully, to people that they are not different species. They are actually the same, and they are actually individuals. Yeah, this is more of a character sheet rather than a creature sheet. Species Draconid. Still Lelex. She is clearly a dragon. Hence the name is Pismion. Draconid. And what's... Wow. You are a simulacrum Astari as well, since you have 3 crowns. Or 3 spikes. So he has 3 of them. He's hiding it behind his shield, but he has 3 of them. You are just plain, because yours is inactive. Oh, actually, no. He has a simulacrum crown, it's just inactive, so no. Because there are simulacra that do not have the will or the capacity to ascend to that, either by environmental pressure or lack of talent, or the genes is just too weak. Okay. God, that song. My cousin used to play that a lot. You know that, Lab? The zombie song.
There's a zombie.
No, not that one. The other one's in your head, in your head. That one. Na 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 na.
I thought the zombie.
Not that one. That one I like. The other one I don't. The other one is an earworm of a song that I'm not even fond of anyway. Because my cousin used to play that a lot back in the day. I don't like there are zombies on your lawn. We don't want zombies on our lawn. I don't know, is that copyrighted? Let me just double check that. PBZ1 song copyright. I kind of want to play it.
Well, it's EA, so.
Yep, it is. Yep. It's fully protected by copyright because EA is a fucking bitch. The greedy ass bastards. Imagine getting copyright struck because of this Plants vs. Zombies song. Fuck off. Draconid. Actually, I think I have quite a good balance between Draconic and Astari gods. Actually. So many actuallys. I am actualizing the actuality. We don't want zombies on our lawn. I know you're tight. Help the petals off of my head and eat the brains of the one who planted me here. No! See me power giant infantry along the defensive area. I use the tricycle. There's butter on my head. I have a screen door shield. We are the undead. There's a zombie on the lawn. We have a zombie on the lawn. We don't have a zombie on the lawn. We don't want zombies on the lawn. If that is not a dead giveaway of them being hybrids, I don't know, man. I should put in homo sapiens. The homoizing. The homode. Primodus. The very last one. The god of the end. There you go. Nice. Okay, so we now have species. And I can see there's a very good division. Actually, I think it's more of a 60-40 division between Astaris and Draconic gods. So I think we have a fairly good balance. I won't count the aspects that are half mortal, like Virginia, Archon, Pyrena, and Volknerix, because they are half mortal. So I won't count them in that. Dude, I might even do that, actually. Where is Gale Barracks? Where is Gale Barracks? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. It all but confirms, okay? It all but confirms his lineage if I do that. You know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I am gonna do it. Where is Gale Barracks? Gale. There you go. That all but confirms his lineage. And I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab a drink. He is the secret love child of the Big Daddy-O and the Big Mommy-O. What time is it? Okay. Yeah, I kind of like that. It all but confirms his lineage. I mean, yeah, sure. It's implied, but I didn't say anything. Actually, for the other simulacrons, I need to change something as well. Because their dominant side is not their simulacrons. No. We're changing that. We're changing Ainoboros, Pereshkigal. Yeah, we're changing them because they cannot really ascend the way Lucerius and Aurelian can do, because they have these other forms. So we're changing that, being that they're more Astari than they are simulacrons. So you are gonna be like that. Oh, fuck off. There you go. Who else do we have? Chrysalis and Placivitus. Well, Placivitus is fine. Yeah, because he's that powerful. Chrysalis... No. You are gonna be half. More Astari than Simulacra. There you go. So let's put in a hierarchy basically. Where this is this half is much more dominant than that half. You know what I'm saying? So that should imply that. And yeah, I think we're done. Alright. Now let's go ahead and continue our journey down. So we're done with Placivitus. We're moving to Lelix now for my proofreading. And let's go to her lore entry in the Faber doc. Here she is. Lilith Lix. I pronounce her name. The goddess of strife, dominance, and authority. The mother of dragons, and she's no Khaleesi. No, she's not. She's kind of crazy, but she's not Khaleesi crazy. The great invader, the slumbering ire. And yes, anyone out there who's listening to this who has not, for some reason, watched Game of Thrones, you are a good person. Okay, you are free from the burden of knowing how much that show degenerated into shit. Okay? But, if you ever are curious, I would just recommend just watch season 1 to 4. Then make up your own ending. There are good bits with the other seasons, sure, but that's where the decline actually starts. Okay? The show died with Tywin Lannister. Spoiler. Yeah. Alright, since the books are most likely not going to be ever finished, as long as Mr. Tubbers is still alive. So, well, if he does finish it, then whatever. I gladly stop at season 5. That is a good way to end it too, yeah. Dude, I held on until season 7. Then when season 8 came out, I didn't even watch past 3. The wife finished it, I didn't. It was like, nope. And that's actually where the book ended, if I recall correctly. If you're a book guy, or if you only read the books, that is where the book ended. So every other season after that in the show, it's not in the books. Well, basically, what Martin did is they gave him the cliff notes. So this is what's going to happen. This is the thing's going to happen. But other than that, the dialogue, the stories, and how those clip notes got there, those story beats got there, they're all made by those two idiots, Dumb and Dumber. Just goes to show you that Dumb and Dumber are good at adapting, but they're not good at actually making their own stuff. Something to think about. Something to think about. And Dumb and Dumber were supposed to do a Star Wars show. That's why they ended Game of Thrones. Disney was like, hey, you're the Game of Thrones guys. Can you make a Star Wars show? Movie? Sure. And where is that? Since the failure of the Game of Thrones Season 8, where's that? Nowhere to be seen. Same with Rian Johnson's Star Wars film. Where's that? Yeah, fuck off. And people said 6 was also good, but I was done. Nah, Again, the later seasons have their moments. They have their moments. Hard Home is a particularly good moment. But other than that, I'd rather not. The smart characters just started being dumber by every season, man. They just start getting dumber with every passing season. So yeah, if anyone out there wants to get to the Game of Thrones Season 4 or 5, just so you can get the book end. Because that's where the book ended. Or stopped. Here's the funny thing. Martin said he's working on it. But we have not heard anything for how many years now. Since the last time he released the book. He's so busy doing other things. He's doing House of the Dragon. He's doing Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. He's doing a Jon Snow prequel. He's doing Elden Ring and other projects. So yeah, I don't know where you're going to fit Game of Thrones writing on that. Rumor has it, the book is already done. But he's afraid to release them because of the reaction people got with the ending. Because like I said, the show followed the cliff notes. So this is what he planned the ending is gonna be, most likely. Dany's gonna get crazy. She's gonna burn King's Landing and all that. That's gonna happen. But most likely the book would have a different reason why it happened. And the king is gonna be Bran. Jon Snow is gonna relinquish and most likely gonna travel the north. That's why we're gonna have a Jon Snow show. That is his plan. But like the show did a horrible job doing it. It threw people off the idea. Yeah, people don't like the idea anymore. I, for one, would judge it on the merit of its execution rather than it's just because it just tied to the stupid show. The show did a horrible job, okay, of doing it. Because any idea, regardless of how bad it is, if you have enough talent, you can make it work. You can make it work. It all depends on the execution of said idea, right? You can make the most horrible, cringiest idea in existence, but if you have the talent to make it appeal to people, you can do it. I believe in you. Right? I am more of an execution guy rather than a concept guy. Because you can tell me, oh, this show has amazing concept. Dude, a lot of anime has that. A lot of anime that I have seen or heard throughout my existence in this world have good concepts. And they just throw it away. Right? They just throw it away. They either go for too long or they just completely forget the premise and just do whatever they want. Yeah, everything sounds good when it's a good idea, but it all comes to the execution of it. In the second paragraph, the last sentence is weird, and I think heir apparent. I have no idea what an apparent heir is. Oh, heir apparent is what you call your heir. It's a more formal way of saying it. So yeah, I'll check how weird it looks in a bit. It should be, yeah, because it's a formal title. Like this one here, right here. Let me just correct that. Thank you. Okay, let's go in and get to Kraken. The mother of dragons, the great invader, the slumbering ire of the continent of Nifei. She also led her brood through countless glorious battlefields, conquering, dominating, and reveling in the total and absolute supremacy of her singular, unquestionable will. For that is the very core of a dragon. Anything less is an insult to their noble blood. However, when she turned Her fury upon the garden world of Ashen and the fledgling Astran Empire, plunging the planet into centuries of conflict. Draconic fire clashed with biomechanics, genetic mastery versus natural selection. Also, having another sentence with she who is a bit too much. First paragraph is enough. Second is a geste. Which one? Which one? Also, having another sentence starts with she who. She. I have she who here. Is there another one? Did I say another she who over here? Later. Oh, should I just put in who? Who led? Something like that? In the fledgling Astran Empire, plunging the planet into centuries of conflict, draconic fire clashed with biomechanics, genetic mastery versus natural selection. Yet at the moment of her final victory, her fury was blunted by Lord Aurelion, teaching her the full cycle of her domain. One in first start, one in second. Oh yeah, you're right. You were here. Yeah, I already removed the she who on the first, so I think we're fine with this one then. At the moment of her final victory, her fury was blunted by Lord Aurelion, teaching her the full cycle of her domains. This should be a separate sentence. That one is only at the top until someone else violently takes it. Alright? This is Lilith, mother of all the remaining draconid gods of Ashen. Fuck. How did that get there? Why did you go up there? Stupid formatting. Who only value those who has true draconic heritage, or those who can prove they can be as furious, subjugating, and commanding as her kin. For very few non-dragons have gained her respect. Where is this? Why do we have that? It should be here. She has been known to have quite the fondness of the inferior family, and with Lord Aurelion the most. I'll deal with you later. With Lord Aurelion the most. This strict demand is not limited to her own brood, as she sees her once heir apparent. Yeah, it's a formal way of saying heir. It's like, you are the definite heir. Something like that. I'm not using the word apparently. No, it's heir apparent, as in you are the definite heir. No one else can contest that, unless you have been stripped of that title. Her once heir apparent, Mr. Lilith, as a disappointment to her lineage. Many of the Morn Ophrix broods now turn to her as their primary deity, since Farfnix shamed himself and condemned his children. Many temples were erected to her splendor and terrifying form, yet it is no place of quiet learning or coddling. They are places whose very walls and marble drip with her lessons. That existence is a struggle. To succeed is to dominate, and authority must be constantly, if not violently, enforced. For that is the draconic way, and Why is that logo going up there? Fuck off. A bit too formal in my opinion in an introduction, in a dialogue maybe, but here I don't like it. I can see what you mean, because this should be a primer, right? Because this is written in the voice of someone who is introducing the god or the gods to someone who isn't basically a beginner or someone who's curious, right? I can see your point. I can remove it. It's not really a big deal. I can do it. I can see the point. Yeah, because I would put this introduction as for, again, the introductions don't even have the full stories. They're what the mortals see. So this should be at least in the level. And I for one am at the opinion that kids should not be too coddled with media and language, right? They should be at least slowly introduced to the reality of life. But I would agree it is rather too formal for the idea of the primer. So for that, we are going to remove it. Again, not really a big deal. So let's do that. And I think that should take care of that. I don't see anything else I need to add that is not too specific to her lore, right? I might expand a bit here, right? So existence is a struggle where strife, another word for strife, or should I be too, let's go, that's where strife, dude, why am I spelling it wrong? That's strife, that is not that, that is where, actually where strife is a reality one must embrace and revel in. You are going to be a capital now. To succeed is to dominate, and authority must be constantly enforced, if not violently enforced. Constantly enforced, if not violently redundant. I want to change this. Violently. No, not projected. I need my thesaurus. Thesaurus. Other words for enforced. Give me a good word. Force, compelled, coerced, dictated, violently compelled, no, executed. Yes, this is a very Lelex term, yeah. If not violently executed. For she. No, I think we're good. I was about to add a bit, like, for she is the whatever, you know, a bit more flowery ending, but I think it's fine. We end there. Many of the offspring broods have turned to her as their primary deity since Farfnick shamed himself and condemned his children. Many temples were erected to her splendor and terrifying form, yet it is no place for quiet learning nor coddling. They are places whose very walls and marble drip with her lessons, that existence is a struggle, where strife is a reality one must embrace and revel in. To succeed is to dominate, and authority must be constantly enforced, if not violently executed. Yeah. For a fact. And what the fuck happened to my formatting? Where's the logo? You, ma'am, sir, are an annoying little bitch. What are you doing down there? Or up there? Get out of here. Get out of here. Bastard. Alright, so we're done with that primer. Let's go ahead and get to her actual lore. So yeah, he's a Cerberian. The idea is a Cerberus and a little bit of Lord of the Rings dragons. A little bit. I really like, again, I really like the idea of her passive form where she's at court and mingling when she's not fire and death like this one. Like this one right here. Where she hides her real head and the two proxy heads fuse. She really does have this medieval dragon look with her. And I love it. He's like one of those dragons that you would see in a medieval knight's shield. And it should, because she is quite the olden one. She is rather old-fashioned with her ways. Okay. So let's continue. Partially damaged fragment of an imperial proclamation. Dated Primoda 21000. 7,500. Okay, yeah, we're right. We're right with the date. Okay, 7,500. Auric Dynasty. Okay, so here is where we need to change this because this is too early. This is too early. Remember in the timeline, we were talking about 7,000 years of history. See? 500 years is the ancient era, unless I change it. The Auric Dynasty is rather young. See, it's over here. So if you're telling me the Auric Dynasty started around, or is already active around 600, so it should be around here. See what I mean? It's rather too early. So it's either I bloat the timeline even more, or I just change the date upstairs. So if this is 600 around here, and this is where the Auric Dynasty rose, around here. Right? So this should be around, let's say, 3,000, 3,200. So let's go up there. See, this is why I need a timeline, man. This is why I need the timeline. It helps make things more uniform. So you should not be 500 in Auric Dynasty. You should be... And you should not be Auric Dynasty. You should be AE, Ancient Era. Wait a minute. No. Ancient Era. Because I'm thinking maybe I could... No. Ancient Era. So you should be around 3,200. Aha! I love it. I love it! See? See? This is why. This is why. This is why. And yes, as you can see, the naming conventions of the dates change. In the modern era, it's just numbers. Rather than in the ancient era, there's actual months named after them. Right? But I change it because the logic is simple. It's a bit lazy, the way I'm doing it now for the new founding era. With the dating system. But it makes sense considering how many times the world has encountered great catastrophes. That how many eras the world is now. So in a pragmatic and quite humble move, they rated the dating system as to not invoke any gods' names or be centered around any names or anything, and just be numbers. So it's much more easier that way. So it's, yeah, when you see the number is 03, it's not March. No, they don't call it March. They literally call it 03. year 0 free. Or month 0 free rather, of their 12-month cycle. So it's not March, there's no June, there's no July, no, none of that. This isn't Earth. Maybe the same universe as ours just got corrupted with mana. Or sorry, my wording there. That's got blessed by mana, by magic. No. They don't have March, they don't have June, they don't have July. So that's another challenge I had with the other story I'm writing in this universe, where it would not make sense. Of course, it would be quite convenient for me if they have June, July, August, whatever, right? It's easier for both you, me, and the reader for me to conceptualize, but I kind of don't like it. Because it pulls me away from the world building because, they're just using the same thing. So, they're related to Earth? Are you telling me they somehow got a hold of Earthen customs to name the months and the days after them? No. For me, it has to be lived in. And so, in a confusing sense, I made new names for days, and it revolves around their religion. So, they're named after the gods. And they have their own months too, which is again part of their religion. And it has a little story too, where a month has been changed in reference to a different major event happening in the world. So yeah, that's what I did with the other story I'm working on. I told you, I am quite chism when it comes to world building. What's that? Ay, pantal? Or no, there's a lot of fur love. Do you own a cat?
Isn't it obvious?
I think you own a cat. So yeah, I changed. They even have their own monetary system too. Yeah, told you I am that crazy. But that pales in comparison now to this. I think in terms of lore, I don't think so. I think it's halfway to beating that setting or that story with the lore. This is still young. That one is quite the history with it. Worked on it for 2 years before life caught me and just made me stop working on it. But now I'm focused on this one. As I said, that's the dating convention, right? You can tell it's ancient era because there is a name of the month. That's another tell. Yeah, old founding as that's when they did it. Lucerius is the one who changed it. He wants to wipe this slate clean, so to speak. Let it be known on this day, it's a fragment, so there will be broken bits of the grammar and things that have been filled in. Generations of strife, desolation, and animosity has finally come to an end. It is now, and till the final setting of the sun, it is no longer to bring despair and death upon our world. All citizens must stand down. All hostilities and end any perceived. Either I type something here. Perceived slight. Regardless of justification. I want to put something here too. And okay. Stand down and end. Actually, I think it's easier if I just break it. It's obviously what it's referring to, right? So with that, let's just ... So meaning there's a break in the deciphering of the text or in the data log. Hostilities and end any perceived slights, regardless of justification. To all draconids, this should be one sentence. To all draconids that are under the banner of the brood of Lilith Lex, any entity caught violating this will, ... punished accordingly, according to these tenets, as prescribed by your most divine Lady of Justice, Jodex. What follows is assumed to be a list of laws as this section appears to be too damaged. Bear these names, recite them in your prayers. They now take the first steps towards our celestial pantheon. Lilitlex and Monlex are talented lang. The fragment seems to be corrupted at this point. There you go. So yes, that should give you the idea of how godhood works in the setting. A god technically is not a literal god. No, it's more of a title, really. It's a title given to beings that are super powerful that mortals just cannot comprehend it, that they are capable of just breaking moons, creating new continents, or just shadowing the entire world with its massive wings. Alright? That's what we're working on here. Well, not really the entire world, but he's really big. But you get what I'm talking about. So yeah, so they're technically called gods, but it's more of a title. Right? They are treated as such, but they are not considered, or they are, the people know they're not fully divine or fully sentient beings. The prayers do kind of work in a way, because the Astari has a network of nexuses, which you will encounter during your expeditions in the Blasted Waste. There are nexuses of power, which are scattered throughout the Empire. That's where people can go through and ask for their patron, right? For blessings, whatever. And again, we're talking about beings here that can cast literal magic. So they can do it if they like you enough, or you've proven your worth to them. So that's why prayers are still a thing. It can work. And that's why the favor system I'm making is quite strict on how you gather favor, because that's how it worked back in the day. So yeah, the domains are more like titles, or their specialities, right? That's why Lilitlex is the goddess of strife, dominance, and authority, because she is the most pure in terms of the draconic tendencies. So she rebels in conflict, and so hence why her primary is strife. She dominates. She shows dominance as she makes sure she is always the top dog or top dragon. So that's why she has dominance. She was given that as her title, as part of her domain and authority. They are not the literal representations of this idea, unlike with other religions where the gods are literally the source of light of the universe. There will be instances where it's kinda like that with Lalix, because he is the Lord of Secrets, so he does hoard secrets, right? But he is not the source of secrets. He is not why there are secrets in the universe. No. He is just a hoarder of secrets. He collects them. So that's the idea of the domains and the god titles. Okay? So yes, they know they're not really literal gods, but they are at the point of their power that they can be considered as one. Come on, you're an ordinary mortal. You're a simple human. You can barely cast a fireball or light your fuse with a flick of your wrist. Then you have this massive dragon flying around. Every time she opens her mouth, entire volcanoes just erupt. So yeah, what can you do? I think calling that thing a god is quite in the realm of possibility, isn't it? So yes, that is the idea of godhood in the setting. Now, let's continue here. This pose is from and form. This is not from. I always get from and form mixed up. I hate it. This pose and form is how the goddess presents herself in court. And in the relatively few instances where she is not spewing fire and death during this, her primary head is never seen. Yet historians say she always has all 6 eyes watching and observing. Always eager to show her dominance, not just in the field, but also in the court. So I think that's fine. We're good with that. Let's go with historian's note. Historian's note. The broodmother herself, despite being the forefront of many of the ancient histories, from the suppression of the renegade states, the defense against the Gambals, the expansions of a new colony. No, not Mistra. We need to change that. It is now Cinder. Are among the events she has been attributed to either participating or being a crucial figure, all of which an extension of her purview, strife, authority, and dominion. Yet very little is known Wait. I do have a comma. Ah! Should be without a comma but in space. Got it. For the date. Wait, that's how you do dates. Wait, how do we do dates? Name of the month, space or comma? I'm getting confused.
If it's the name, it's space.
Okay.
If it's numeric, it's either...
Yeah, that's why I always put comma, because I always use numeric with my dating in this game.
But, wait, space, but if it's...
No, yeah, this is... Think of it this way, love. This is very ancient past. And they're still using names of months. So this is the first time I wrote month as a name rather than a number. So I got confused, okay? So thank you. I do mean slights, yeah. Any perceived slights. Wrongdoings. That's what slights means. Wrongdoings, another formal way, and this should be said in a formal way as well because it's a formal declaration. So it's a very fancy way of saying wrongdoings, crimes, or insults, something like that. So slights. I'm not referring to sleight of hand or slightly, as in, you know, not enough or barely there. No, I'm referring to slights as in the offense, criminals, or wrongdoing sort of meaning. Herself, despite being the forefront, many expansion of a new colony, the expansion of a new colony of the. And the expansion of a new colony of this, is it of a or of the? And the expansion of the new colony of Cinder. These are among the many events she has been attributed to, either by participating or being a crucial figure, all of which is an extension of her purview, strife, authority, and dominion. Yet very little is known about her on a more intimate and personal level. History is indeed... Oh! Because it's fragmented. It's a... Imagine you're reading a newspaper. But the newspaper is on a data disk or a USB drive. And the data is so broken that not everything is complete. That's why it's all messy like this. So the writer or the interpreter just added in what they think is missing to complete the word. So, for example, when they recover the data, 2 is not here. So the writer or the one that posted this just added in the 2 because they assumed that's the word that's missing in between, like here. So they only got gene and Asians translated. So they're assuming the word is generations. So they added in the ner. Or here, it's city se, close to that in terms of their deciphering. So they just added in the ns. It's a way to emphasize that it is a fragmented data or a piece of information they acquired. Very little known about her on a more intimate and personal level. History is indeed a treasure trove. You don't need can be. It is a treasure trove of her deeds. God, well, am I high on something when I wrote this? Treasure trove of her deeds. How about the personal history of entities of a entity that can literally shape the fates of entire generations, especially one, there's no S here, one that thrives on such aspects or domain. I think aspects is fine. There is no softness, there is no room for such mundane things as family, personality, and quirks. And personality quirks. There should be an end. There should be an end here. And personality quirks now. Fuck. Yeah. Formatting is ruined. Formatting is gonna be ruined since I'm adding stuff. Give me back a moment. Word is Tism Factory. I can just try to move this up. And I'll fix it. Okay, that fixes it. Okay. Mundane things as family and personal quirks. All the more apparent, the broodmother, or for whatever non-martial or political displays of her divinity, do not paint her in any redeeming light. From the apparent nepotistic favoritism with her sons, primarily Ertalix and especially Gale Varix, her mistreatment of her once heir apparent Mr. Lelix, her cruel and excessive handling of inter-house disputes, resulting in the slaying of several draconic gods even before the schism, even the utter indifferences given to her fellow deities. Yet there is one that outshines all these. It has been noted, documented, and observed that she has an incredible, even juvenile fondness for Lord Aurelion, to the point of several documented instances of Lady Lunanef and the broodmother seemingly engaging in playful courtly banter, jabbing at each other at every other opportunity. Every given opportunity. This perhaps is the most endearing footnote of the goddess's otherwise violent legacy. I think I should add more. It kind of cuts. There. Yeah, I think I need to put in a closing sentence because it kind of cuts. It just ends abruptly, right? This perhaps is the most endearing footnote of the goddess's otherwise violent legacy. Right? It cuts. It really just cuts there. As these displays further fuel speculation that there is something more going on behind the imperial curtains. There you go. I think that is a good way to end that. See? Dyslexic writing. I said imperial curtains, and my brain was like, nope, just type in curtains. Fuck off. I said imperial curtains. Put in the imperial there. Okay. As these displays further fuel speculation, fuel speculation that there is something more going on. God, I hate my writing. My dyslexic typing, rather. Going on behind the imperial curtains. Okay. And as these displays further fuel speculation that there is something more going on behind the imperial curtains. Yep. There you go. Look at that. That's Lunanef before she became also fun. She always has that bored look about her. Hey, Aurelian's easy to draw. Like I said, the only thing I need to worry about him is his hard light tendrils. But other than that, is quite easy to draw. He's just geometric shapes that barely move. He has no eyes that does expressions. These is not a real eye. It's a false eye. It's just a part of his... It's not even... I won't even consider that his head. It's just a part of that top half of him. No, this remarkable photograph should be photograph because photo is too informal. Was uncovered and subsequently restored from the databanks of a defunct news publication. It is quite too hard to read. I need to move that up a bit without cutting the head of Aurelion. It's fine to cut the halo because it's a halo. The databanks of a defunct news publication that ran. Oh, I need to change. I think it's fine. Yeah, we're fine. Should be not AD, should be AE. That ran from 1056 to 5001 AE, the name of which is now lost to time. This was taken during a feast set by the Empress's sister, Agatratis, in celebration of the conception of Prince Gabrielus 7 days prior, and this should be typed. Should be a word. 7 days prior. And yes, look at that. Just to give you guys an idea how Astaria get preggo. She is pregnant right now, and here's little baby Gabrielus there. She is... Female Astari don't... They were aquatic creatures, okay? They... Technically, aquatic creatures normally, when they give birth, it's either live young or they spawn. Okay? So, Astari, when they became these genetic masters and biomechanical engineers, the way females give birth or get preggo is the fetus is floating in a bubble of, well, nutritious amniotic fluid from the mom, and it's cradled in a biomechanical cradle, as we can see here. So the fetus is slowly developing in that, and the fluid is constantly being refreshed by the mom. So she's either secretions or just using her magic, her mana, to replenish it. And of course, she is constantly fueling mana into the developing fetus as well. Because at this point, the Astari are so heavily dependent on mana to survive that even when they are developing as little babies, they require the thing to keep them developing, to keep the fetus developing. So yeah, that's how Astari get preggo, and that's why Pereshkigal is technically pregnant with twins. But she has not given birth yet because I'll tell you this right now, she sees this world as too corrupt and too filled with impure beings to let her children be born in such a dank and dirty world. right? She's the goddess of birth. Of course, she's gonna be birth related. So she is not just a guardian of birthing or, well, pregnancies and such. She is literally pregnant with twins. And funny thing is, unlike in the tropes of pregnant women, human women going into battle and fighting, which is kind of cringe. You should be not going in a battle right now. You should be, you know, away from the battle, but whatever. Starry, her 2 kids is at a level of delayed birth that they're kind of self-aware now, and they're part of her moveset. Yeah, you can either choose one of her kids and they would have an effect. That's one of her mechanics. So that's why she's never not seen without these 2, because she loves them. She loves her kids, alright? That could be the reason why she murdered her husband, for all we know. What is the... Could that be it? Because look, she's not yet pregnant. She's technically... Well, you don't see the kids yet, but she's technically already preggo at this point. What would be the argument between the 2? So yes, let's go back after we discuss that bit of Astari biology. It was taken during a feast by Empress Lunanet's sister Agatratus in celebration of the conception of Prince Gabrielus 7 days prior. Seen here in a developing floating embryo nestled near his mother's chest. Here we see Empress Lunanet, far left, being carried by a cushion made by Emperor Aurelian's hard-light tendrils. So yeah, she is being literally fondled by hundreds, possibly thousands of hard-light tendrils of Aurelian. Alright? If that is not the ultimate sign of affection, I don't know, man. Imagine carrying your wife and every little bit of you feels every portion of her body. And she's just pregnant, right? You just had one, and you are still feeling her. You are a horny one, sir. The Emperor and Lord of all Ashen Aurelian Middle, and among the very few instances where we see there should be where we see, thank you, running around at the speed of sound. Sorry, just replying to a friend in Discord. Alright, so let's continue. Very few instances where we see Lady Lelex in a somewhat domestic setting. Even rarer is that she is not known to participate in such events, considering at this time she is supposed to be engaged in a bloody conflict with the Gaelveres of the Hintern system. The great-grandmother Yaldesh, the mother of the Empress, is seen in the background, though such size discrepancies are apparent in the divine, they are known to change and alter their body proportions at times. Yeah, they can do that. That would explain why when you bond with them and you're fighting in a very tight and small area, they can actually shrink down if they want to. They just like the idea of being massive. Especially someone who's very domain is dominion. And smaller form also requires less mana too. So, there you go. People are too soft. Alright. Latest studies of the picture reveals something rather fascinating and has been enhanced in the version of this reconstruction. A single, nearly imperceptible tendril of Aurelion is seen wrapping itself around the right leg of the brood mother, further fueling speculations of a more intimate and secret relationship or associations, the implications of which can be quite dire. So yeah, a little bit of Zeus going on with this bastard. You know what? It's fine. It's fine. Such is the trappings of the mortal mind, because you may live 1,000 years, but you know what? You're still mortal in a way. Your mind still functions like anyone else's. You just happen to live longer than the rest of us. Alright, so let's continue. Yeah, I think we're good with that. Again, this is just basically me saying, yeah, there's a thing going on. Okay, this, I feel I'm gonna change a lot. This little report. I feel this one is gonna get changed a lot. There is a... I remember when I made this, I'm a bit sleepy. And I barely done any proofreading on it. So, we'll see. We'll see. Report dated 0603-944 on what is now dubbed as the Litlelex Calamity by Colonel Marshal Maxier Brownfist, Aslan 7th Fleet, the Burping Bombers. It should be done. On 5/30/944, 7 a.m. local time, the Esper city of Heliadex detected a massive surge of mana being channeled in the center of the continent of Nephe. This was confirmed by several satellites in both low and high orbit. The source was located in the northwestern face of Mount Kith. The Auric Confederation never had strong diplomatic relations with the Kithian regime, and the country has been locked in a bloody civil war since 900 NF. Communication with any authority figure is largely limited, and due to the paranoia and security tendencies, they do not divulge much information. It was first suspected to be a weapon of mass destruction, as the conflict escalated into a grueling and desperate struggle among the four factions vying for control of the country. Yet, all was shattered when, within the hour of the outburst of energy, this is a very Oprix name. This is what I said when I said yesterday that Oprixes have very, very long names. Very long and grandiose names. Hierarch Gendalix Mariana Azure Cerulean Tail Bluescale was contacted by the loyalist faction led by her brother-in-law. The message was short and garbled, as major atmospheric disturbances disrupted long-form comms, and it reads as follows. Rebels, cult, foolishness, send help. A goddess awakened, rampaging, destroying. Italics, quickly! This was confirmed as satellites managed to break through the storms and briefly witness a titanic clash the Lords of Sky and Sea locked in a desperate, devastating battle with their own mother. Little Lelex. Lady Lunanef and Bellatrix were informed, though Lady Lunanef refused to assist for reasons unknown. The Lady of Justice prepared to engage the rampaging goddess. Preparation for the relief force was completed within 12 hours. 12 hours should be written down. 12 hours of the distress signal being sent. Due to political complications, the fleet was only able to enter the borders 2 hours later. Reports confirmed the worst-case scenario. The entire northwestern and western halves of the continent were left devastated by firestorms, hurricanes, and other natural phenomena. The fleet deployed its support ships to immediate relief efforts as they reached the rampaging deities near the furthermost shore of Nifei in the Garden region. Lady Bellatrix immediately joined the fray, and the rest of the fleet fired a salvo at the Broodmother, but the shots were intercepted by both Airtalix and Cutlalix. Fleet Commander Admiral Spire opened comms, and the dialogue followed. Airtalix, foolish gnats! You would only provoke her ire more. Do you wish this land to burn longer? Focus on saving your fellow supplicants. This is a higher matter than yours. Admiral Spire, my lord, we are here to protect and save. The salvo was meant to weaken her. We do not wish her harm as well. There should be harm here. Should be harm as well. And if I may be so bold, relief efforts. See, there you go. Have already been relief forces. Relief efforts have already been dispatched. Our mandate is as much to quell her rage as it is to protect. In fact, boldness like yours will only bring more destruction. I state again, this matter can only be resolved by those who are higher than you mortals. Bear this as a warning. I will not hesitate to bring destruction upon you if you insist to meddle in this affair. Admiral Aspire, we will do what we must. And if we are to suffer your eternal damnation, then so be it, for it is sworn duty to protect this world as much as yours. And Chalice cut off comms and returns to the fight. Admiral orders under salvo. However, Catlalix spoke in a voice expert claimed to be his true voice. Catlalix, my erstwhile brother speaks true. Our mother is suffering from a grave injustice wrought upon her. She affirms to have been fooled into undergoing her hibernation cycle prematurely. She did so willingly, with the belief that she will be awakened when there is great need. Yet none came, for she was secreted away by treasonous forces as part of the machinations of the fallen Lucerius. She just demands answers, and to have awoken in a changed world where her more primal expressions can no longer sustain and accommodate. To see her brood reduced to nothing short of extinction, she just needs to understand now. And then cut. The sea god went silent and wordlessly descended. Exactly what happened is certain, but witnesses state that the goddess was calmed by Bellatrix's intervention. When questioned, the Lady of Justice also refused to elaborate, only stating that her lord must be found. Afterwards, Lelex retreated back into the interior of Mount Kifei and seemed to return to a deeply suspended state. The humanitarian efforts led by Lady Lunanef continue to this day, despite the ongoing hostilities. However, in a controversial agreement, the four factions, along with the Yaldeshi Circle and the Socratic League of Arcanus, built a facility meant to siphon mana away from the area, just to keep the goddess in a state of suspended torpor. Such a thing is considered by a vast majority of the Auric Council to be both blasphemous and courting even more divine ire, not just from her, but from the rest of her surviving kin. So yeah, there you go. Actually, I was expecting more changes and revisions with that one, but yeah, I think that one's good. One's good. It just shows you the power of a very draconian dragon, being her draconian dragon ways. Also, is that pop server? Okay, I don't need you anymore. It's okay. So yeah, we're good with that. I think. Yeah, I think that is good enough. I'm thinking, is there anything else more I can add to this? I think none. I think we're good with that. This shows about the power and the response time. And to live in a god where literal beings that can shake the world exist. Now, let's continue. No. Go with Hollow Knight. Okay, so let's continue. You know, yes. Oh, sorry. So yeah, I think we're good with that. Again, I was expecting more revisions, but I think we're good. Blah blah. So let's go ahead and get to the next set. That is gonna be the Heroes Triad. The Heroes Triad is interesting for me because there are technically 3 demigods. 4, if you count Archon. 4 demigods that are basically one favor line. So if you want to get to a point where you can easily or early, yeah, get someone real powerful, or like a legendary creature early on, this is your route. This is whom you need to court. But of course, you still need to bond with them, so it's not an easy thing. But this is the earliest one you can get. Okay, so let's go get the reading done. Because I have like maybe 30 minutes more. Right? I am 100% going out today, right?
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes.
Okay. So let's see here. The Heroes Triad. The aspects of Pyrrhina, Volknarix, and Faerhina. When the great hero Arkan set forth on his crusade to defeat the tyrant Lucerius, he was not alone, for he gathered allies from all the corners of Ashen. He planted the seeds of rebellion, and it all came to a head in the year 567 OF. Regions rose in unison, gods once again clashed with gods. The tyrants butchered, the disgraced war Chrysalis, blades blunted. That's a bit too abrupt. It's gods and this should be Enda then. Yeah, and the tyrants butcher. The blades of the tyrants butcher, the disgraced god of war Chrysalis. Blades were his blades were blunted. Blunted and defeated. Yet it was not. Yet his form was shattered not by gods, but by mortal resolve. The band of courageous heroes led by Arkan ambushed the butcher in his sanctum, aided by his captive paramour, the goddess Agatratis. The battle was hard fought, and victory was achieved Yet the cost was all too much. That's why it's blue. 3 of the 5 lay slain. Pyrrhina, the bandit queen of the valley. Volknarix, the disgraced noble of the Star Club. Brood. And Ferhina, the lone dancer of the gardens of Yaldesh. Yet through their sacrifice it paved the way for the release of Lord Aurelian in the Vault of Aradses and Lucerius to fall. Yet they say heroism is undying. It always finds a way to rise up and balance the wrongs of the world. For in an age of the new founding, when new gods and demigods rose, among them are 3 that bear the names of these fallen heroes. Pyrrhina, the aspect of courage and will, Volknarix, the aspect of tenacity and tempering, and Ferhina, the aspect of friendship and solitude. They are the new demigods dispensing justice and helping the needy, protecting communities. They bear... This is correct. This is not correct. This is... There you go. They bear no grand temples, no massive institutions, yet they are among the most revered. Their legends, their praises. 4 in. I think 4 in is better. For in the small towns and remote communities, songs are sung. Communities, their songs are sung. Tiny altars raise, folk tales spun from their deeds, and children pray pray to them and play as them. From no corner of Ashen is safe from any evil they deem worthy of their divine interventions. There you go. So we have our grassroots vigilante demigods of the new founding, and as you can see, their logo is quite different because they do not have any Astari scripting. They don't. They're half. And with that, I think I need to change this to like that. It should be the other way around. Or I think it's fine because they don't really look like humans anymore. Or operators. There you go. I think that's fine. We keep it like that. Yeah, that's our grassroots heroes, everyone. Yeah, like I said, you can get them quickly. I think as early as rank 4, you get a chance. Rank 5, you get another chance. And rank 7, then rank 8, you get to challenge their boss, Archon. So yeah, I think with the rest, we're good with this. Yet, through their sacrifice, it paved the way for the release of Lord Aurelian and the Vault of Aradses and Lucerius to fall. Yeah, I think we're good with this one. Okay. Discord say anything? Okay, so let's get to our proofreading. Yep, I'll spell color the way I want to, you bitch. Stop complaining, Word. That is how I spell color. Deal with it. Yeah, I really had them. The Pyrena is among those that I have designed that, I think I said this before. She, along with Chrysalis, or Kratos at the time, I had to scrap some designs because I really don't like the way they turned out, the way they look. So it took me a while before I get to the final design with her. And I ended up making a Tanuki. And she has big balls. See? Because we are men, we are people, we are persons of class. Okay? Yeah, it just feels better. And it's more classier. I do the same thing with armor. Armor, rather, for the Americans. Yeah, much more cleaner. It has it rolls off the tongue better. It's less stiff. Very, very much. But unfortunately, Word is made by them Americans. So they will force their Americanisms on me. And I say nay. Nay, I say nay. I could even do a ignore this sort of thing with Word. But every time I would ignore all. See, every time I would open Word, it would still remind me that it's a wrong spelling. It's just a ignore this for this one time only. Okay. So let's go ahead and get to the short story, which is quite long, but I really love this. This is among my favorite short stories I made for the setting. And because of that, Miss Detective Homers is going to be quite a mainstay character in the game. So yep, this is her golden heroine form. Where she becomes, as my friend would describe it, furry bait. But either way, let's get to the story. Lord, Detective Homers Dickerson of Dickerson Agency. Detective Homers Dickerson Detective Agency, Nevernia, 2/16/1046. So it's quite recent. Like 4 years before the current setting. Day 1. Served 15 years in the constabulary. Handled the cases involving the gods. Yet usually looking for survivors or divine aftermath. Assessing threats and validating sightings. Never in my whole career did I get tasked to arresting one. This whole frybait dicking is turning out to be quite the ride. Yet, how does one track the divine, let alone arrest one? I mean, I can handle a gun, and Mary here is has quite the bite. But a god? A god? Sure, she is one of the new gods, demigods, those eggheads calls them. But still, should put him but still. I should have said no. But I don't know. Maybe it's the whiskey, money, or those curvy hips, enchanting eyes the client sent to hire me. Temples of Astrograd, I hate having a dick sometimes. Yet, she was so gorgeous. Yep. Day 7. No luck, no dice. Nothing to work with other than the damage reports, testimonies from guards and employees. I need a drink. I can still hear the word restricted. Odd. This Benison mining group hired me, yet they seem to be unwilling to help. Maybe. I mean, it checks out. Blondie is one of their people, and they know of me. Yet there's a stink here. One that would seem to attract the demigoddess, known for philanthropic liberation of goods. Definitely need a bottle. This is getting deeper and murkier than Kutlalix's vault. Should have said no. 25. Never trust the gorgeous ones. Ever. I've spent, I don't know, 3 weeks in the village of Silverhelm. It's a nice place, just not my type of town. Mostly because my poking around always brings trouble to quiet places like this. The moment we arrive, I felt eyes watching me. Mary, that old worry fet, and just FYI, this is what a worry fet looks like. Worry fet. This is what Mary looks like. It's an overly cautious base type creature that can turn into a ball of sharp fur, spiky fur. See, that is what Mary looks like. A worry fet. Even the drawing has that very, very worry look and expression about it. So yeah, that's what Mary looks like. She is a worry fet. A small little creature that can actually sit on your shoulders and such. Okay. Must have been poked. Okay, that old worry fet has been tense ever since we set foot here. This BGM should be called Benison's Malcontent Gang. So many counts of, well, accusations, corruption, bribery, and circumventing the law. After all, when there is smoke, there is a prick lighting a forest on fire somewhere. Most interesting of all, they are locked in a rights dispute over a crystal cave sitting right under this town. I'm going on a bender tonight. All this paperwork demands proper balancing. Time to check out that bar on the other end of town. The gods must hate me. If this is divine favor, I don't want it. Last night was indeed quite the bender. Barely a bottle in, and guess who joined me? Blondie! Mary's fur was stiff as a corpse, never a good sign. Yet the woman acted like Agatratus herself had taken human form, being all friendly to an old drunk bastard like me. She told me she grew up here and explained how this town is just the latest victim in the company's many crimes. Then she told me to go and finish my paperwork, leaving me with a teasing look. Gods, those eyes. Anyway, one look at Mary and I knew something was twisted. They say when a worry fet looks like a spiky ball of wet eyes, the world is ending. They're right. I drove back as quickly as I could, waking up half the town in the process. I got back just in time. Thugs were ransacking my room, and one was trying to burn the place down. Bastards. The bastards. The bastards are lucky Mary and I only gave them a walloping. Lucky, too, I wasn't completely wasted. Otherwise, well, the old folks running this inn, they don't deserve to lose that nice place. Managed to save most of my case data slates, yet the moment I stepped outside, 10, maybe 20 of those farfening bastards were waiting for us. Even Mary can't take on a crowd that size. Then, well, let's just say my demigod, let's just say I found my demigod, or rather, she found me. Nice, huh? I told you it's fun. I'm sorry. I'm again tooting my own horn, but I really like that little lore entry. It's so fun. It's a fun little detective noir romp involving the demigoddess Pyrina. Yes, and the funny thing is, it should. The idea of it is just to show how much of a, what do you call that? A vigilante she is. That she operates to the point that she's actually actively going against corrupt companies and all that. Right? That's the only idea that I have for this. But as I was writing this, ambition just flared in, and I was like, you know what? Let's continue this for the rest of the heroes triad. This Detective Homerus is gonna go on an adventure because it continues with Volknarix's lore page. It also drops lore too, so I'm fine with that. Volknarix, species, yes, yep. Yeah, like I said, it continues. See? Day 28. Temples! Is there no amount of whiskey? There is no amount of whiskey and doll eyes to make up for this blasted caper. 2 days on the run. It was easy goings at first, riding on the back of one. Riding on the back of... It was easy goings at first with a demigod on your side, and even riding on the back of her. Even riding on the back of one. I think that kind of implies there's another one. Or even riding. He's going at first. Riding on the back of a demigod. Irina, get out of here. The back of a thank you. Of a demigod. Mary was even having some fun. Nice to see that old worrywart loosen up a bit. Yet last night, well, even gods get unlucky. Dirtbags cut us off. It's quite the scuffle, hard fought, and lost. Somehow she got hit hard, went down like Pershiggal personally struck her down. And I know why she got hit. It was my reckless numbskullery. She took the hit for me. All she could muster was for me and Mary to bolt it out of there. I don't know. I just ran. There's a primal terror seeing a demigod going down just like that. Just takes all hope right out of you. I'm laying low in this town. Can't even risk getting spotted. Just figure out where I am. Yet maybe it's me sobering up, the adrenaline wearing off. But she isn't done. They have her, and I owe her one. Okay. Day 31. Mary, I swear by Aurelian's bright red ball, I would have bit it. I would have bit it more times than I have thanked you. Okay, this is quite the mouthful. I would have bit it more times than I have thanked you. Blighter, keep me fed and hydrated as I languish in this abandoned hovel we blessed with our stinking asses. All the time thinking and skulking got me realizing, even if I found her, there's no way I can get her out. I have the most reliable worryfet, a dinky shooter, and the title of the world's most irrational man. So I need help. Nothing public. Those farps are always watching. Calling my old friends in the justiciars won't work either, since she and good old Bella don't exactly see eye to eye. Lucky for me, she's got relatives. Well, back to square one. How the farf do I find a god? Day 34. Divine comedy! That is my lot in life. This is why Eldesh blessed my dad and my mom to have me. I mean, why is this bloke not my quarry? I just found him by a bleeding leaflet blown into my face. Volknarix's free marksmanship lessons. I just need a drink. Day 41. Leave her be? She just wants to be captured. I know these gods are beyond my mortal monkey brain, but really? Just leave her be? Even when I told him how she went down, he just shrugged and continued his lessons. Granted, it's quite the crowd, but just to shrug her off like that? He may be right. I can't just leave her be, though. I owe her. If he won't help, maybe the other will. Wish he taught friendship lessons instead. Oh. Wish she teaches friendship lessons too. not instead. Friendship lessons too. Day 45. I hate this guy. I don't care. I swear by the aim-pointed crown, god or not. I mean, I spent 4 days looking for clues for Farina. He just comes in. Bastard was laughing at me, saying that he'd rather help me than let me waste my mortal days looking for, well, in his words, little Miss Friendship. Day 45, 10:15 p.m. Nevaria local time. Marksmanship. Blighter teaches that. No, he needs a suppressor. Volt opened fire high above a hill, pummeling the BMC development office. I mean, in the middle of nowhere? Sure, this company's not even being subtle on how slimy it is. Well, either way, while he was blasting holes in the building, Mary and I snuck in and checked their network. And I found her. Not just that. Let's just say Bellatrix herself will preside over this case. First, I have a goddess to rescue. Even if I have to deal with Mr. Marksmanship. So yeah, he turns into a fucking railgun platform. Berserk Fury. My favorite Zoid. If you don't know what Zoids are, well, where's your childhood? Basically, he looks like this. Berserk Fury. See, look at that. Inspired. I didn't even plan for him to look like that, to be honest. It just happened to be just like that. Or at least the idea of it. The color scheme, the idea of him having big guns on his back. So yeah, it's supposed to be claws because he was an Oprix. See, it's supposed to be claws, but I had the idea, you know what? Let's have it turn to rail guns. And there you go. Firina. Or Firhenia. I need to get repeating that properly. Firhenia. The aspect of friendship and solitude. And to be honest, I really like her design. I am a sucker for blue. Okay, blue is my favorite color, and I really like these. Looks like a Baogan dude. I seen some of the anime, so I know what you mean. Because yeah, Bakugan are these weird ball things that you throw and they open up like that, and I can see what you mean. I can see what you mean, especially with this pose right here. I can see what you mean with that. The closest thing I had for Bakugan, I never played it. Beyblade, if you people know about that. It's those fighting top things. Yeah, that's the closest thing I had in terms of the Japanese non-card trends that became popular here in the Philippines. That and those racing cars, those Tamiya racing cars. I had a collection of that, like a lot. Like literally, I have an entire closet. When you open it, it's just nothing but these cars. Cars. No, not Tamayi, you fucking idiot. Tamiya. Car. Four-wheel, whatever. These things right here. I have a literal closet. You open them up, and there's like all of them. I even made little platforms from their boxes, so they would have little display platforms, so it's not just arranged boringly. They're like leaning in a bit, so you can see in an angle. Here's the funny thing. I went on vacation. I went on vacation like a week, and when I went home, they're all gone. I don't remember what happened to them, to be honest. I don't remember. I think my grandma threw them away. I don't know, man. I really don't know what happened to them. They just vanished from my life. I don't know. The fate of my collection of Tamiya mini four-wheel drive cars is unknown to me. I really don't know. I remember... Oh my god, really? They have a jeepney version? Fuck off. This is proof how popular this thing got here in the Philippines. They even made a jeepney version of it. Love, you know those Tamiya 4-wheel racing cars?
Of course.
Look at this, come on.
Yeah, I heard you say jeepney.
Yeah, no, this is how. Look at that.
Why not?
It's not even aerodynamic. I think he's not gonna win a race. As I was saying, I really like her design. I don't know, I'm a sucker for these types of designs because among my favorite Pokemon is Malefic. This is what she looks like, right? You can see the profile of the head. Not the same coloration though, but the same idea, the same profile of the head, right? It's also a water type. Another one of my favorites is Primarina. So I really like the design of Primarina. She is slender and all that. It's a slender profile that gets me with these elegant Pokemon designs. Unlike Gyarados. Gyarados is an ugly motherfucker. You look at that. Even his Mega form is ugly as sin. Look at that. What is this? What is that ugly fucking piece of shit? This is the realistic drawing of Gyarados, and I kind of prefer this over this. Gyarados has the OG Pokemon appeal, okay? I will not deny that, but if you're gonna make me choose between Gyarados and Milotic, I'm gonna choose Milotic. Fuck you. This has more style, okay? And yes, Primarina has no sexual dimorphism. Even the boys, even the male Primarinas look like this. I mean, sure, they're animals, but someone in Nintendo designed them to all look like this. And even the boys can look like that. Sure, no problem, but that's kind of weird, Nintendo. Either way. So let's continue. And yeah, she turns herself into very, very cold vapor form. Her Rhyma Maiden stance, if you will. Where Volknarix turns himself into a gun, Pyrena turns herself into a furry bait. Pirenia just turned herself into a vapor form of very, very super cold, nearly transparent material. And she is quite hard to kill. Yeah, unlike the other two aspects, who show slight changes to their physiology while engaging in the other forms, Firenia's Rhyme Maiden is the most dramatic, where it's even documented, only her head, where it's even documented that only her head and beads remain visible and fully formed, as the rest becomes an almost transparent and imperceptible liquid state. Okay. 51. Yes, like I told you, the whole Heroes quartet or triad, it's gonna be humorous. Balls. 51. Day 51. Balls. I remember now why I hate being sober. I feel everything. I feel everything. Every little bump and itch. I feel everything. Every little bump and itch. And going back to Silverhelm Incognito with a walking railgun is not helping. He just won't. He just won't. Shut up. He just won't for someone. Oh, okay, so we don't need this. For someone whose trap ain't moving. When it yaps, he does sure yap a lot. Blasivitus himself would never run out of stories with this guy. Pyrena likes heroes this, bandits that, Cracilis this, temples reminds me of that retirement of that retirement case of 45. Of that retirement case of 45. Even I can cram all this info as if I wanted to. However, I did ask him one query. Why is the aspect of friendship also the aspect of solitude? He said, Ferinia is not the type who seeks friendship. Well, not really. They found her. He said, Ferinia is not the type who seeks friendships. Well, not really. They found her as someone who lived alone, dancing for no one. Yet she is also the type to never show her affections. She's not even good at reading people. He said that it's so bad that, sorry, I'm dyslexicizing again. She is not even good at reading people. He said it's so bad that, even the one being that shows her romantic affection flew by her head. Till it's too late. He said it was Archon. He said it was Archon. It was Archon. That person was Archon. So let's go ahead and change that. That person was Archon. I asked him, the great hero, the founder of the Confederation? And he said, yes. He said, yes. Volk must have read my face. As he said next, he was an Oprix, Irina was human, and Ferinia was elf. Temples. I suddenly became an historian. I mean, I was never fought any of this. Aurelian's balls, I need a drink. Silverhelm. Day 54. Silverhelm. Nice town. But after this, I'd rather not go back to this place. Even Mary agrees with me on this one. We just passed the place where Irina was captured. I told Boke about it. I showed him the scars and the crater. He just said Irina just wanted to make it as believable as possible. And that she even that when said a story that even before being a demigod, she once played as a corpse just to get into some depraved noble's castle. I'd rather not subject this log to all the disgusting details Volk gave me. I mean, he could be right. I could be cocking up her plan, but this company is doing illegal research into ancient Astari gene tech. It's been forbidden for a reason. It's a bloody reason why we have those strings of calamities. Who knows what those assholes could be doing to an actual Astari? I mean, if Volk says it's true, half Astari, either way, I owe her one. Us. Two of us, so... Either way, I owe her one. Besides. And also, I found the place. File said it's a registered mining camp. Some camp with a massive underground complex that draws too much power, logistic drops, and guards as if this is Lighthold. Yeah, this is the place. Day 55. Midnight. 12 minutes passed. Something is off. I mean, I got captured. I blundered like some rookie. Blondie, or rather branch manager Cassandra Bianca Valhelm, balls. Even her name rolls off the tongue like some sweet liquor. All that trouble. All the more trouble. Regardless, I followed Cassandra and found where Irina was held captive. However, her Doppeljaeger, of course, she has one of those notoriously deadly, Of course she has one of those things, notoriously deadly and beautiful at the same time. Must be. She has one of those things known to be notoriously deadly and beautiful at the same time. It must have sniffed Mary out, or maybe it's me, stinking like some creeper. Well, either way, here we are, locked in the finest accommodations those bastard mining cunts can provide. Also, why is Volk not shutting the joint like before? Should be like 10 minutes ago. And why do I still have my stuff, let alone Mary? Something is definitely off. Well, who am I to say to mortal incompetence? And someone's coming. Day 55. 2:13 a.m. Nevaria local time. I cocked up. Okay. Volk's still laughing at me like an idiot. Give me a break. Can't blame him for being so smug though. I just had two of the deadliest women in Ashen stare me down. One a demigod who can literally burn me to ashes. Volk even said I was lucky because she likes the hero types. Well, lucky, yeah. Hero? Maybe. The other can very well do the same. Apologizing doesn't even help without Cassandra giving me the gaze of death. Gods, this is why death is a woman. But they are right. I ruined months of work, months of infiltration. I was supposed to be just a distraction, a way for Pyrene to get captured, so they can get the Justiciars to raid the place. I mean, it's good, but they chose the wrong sucker. Funny, my SO said the same thing. My bullheadedness and lack of tact. Volk did try to help out by telling them about the incriminating data I acquired, but it's no use. And Sandra said, even the banded Queen Pyrene agrees with her. And she is right. Since this is unsanctioned and acquired through criminal means, this holds little weight in a court, and any company can easily spin this around. You got to make... Recording ends abruptly. Day 55. 4:25 a.m. Nevalia local time. Divine comedy. I would laugh, but the comedy escapes me. Maybe I'll ask Volk. Mary is still wet. Is still a wet spike ball. I can't blame her. I just saw justice herself. Bellatrix came crashing through the trees like some godly lightning. Lucky Cassandra was beside me and managed to pull her out of the way of an incoming log. Bella grabbed Pyrene, and she tried to get away. Volk just took the hit, but Harf! I never saw him flung so easily. Well, not expecting to, at least. Before the demigoddess was flung towards him as well. They both crashed onto the ground in a heap of dust and broken trees. I guess that's the mortal half of them, and it's not helping against a full and true goddess. Blows were exchanged, and watching divinity battle is not something I thought I would cross over my ever-lengthening bucket list. It only ended when Bellatrix unleashed a blinding wave of energy. I thought we were done for I held Mary and shielded Cassandra from the blast. From the blast. It's from the blast. Yet we found ourselves encased in a spear of ice, and then, with nothing but a floating body barely visible, Miss Friendship herself, Pyrene, saved our hides. Didn't even spoke. Just floated there, staring at us with those cold emerald eyes. Then she left to speak with Lady Justice. Made me think, was she there with us? It was a rather chilly night. Was she there? Oh, was she always there with us? Yeah, okay. Rena and Bella spoke while Bella trashes Rena and Volk. I barely heard a word of it. Hard to read lip or being or beings that don't really use them. From beings that don't really use them. Anyways, it appears that she was the one that brought the goddess here, and Bellatrix calls this pummeling an immediate execution of punishment against unsanctioned actions. I mean, yeah, she's clearly executing them. Lunanet's mercy, remind me never to get into the goddess's bad side. Verena someone who is socially inept, is rather a scary lawyer. He's a rather scary lawyer. I mean, she convinced, rather brokered, an agreement with justice to sanction our little escapade. Me and Cassandra even showed the goddess our evidence. And Temples, having Bella's inscrutable gaze on you is another thing I'll add and cross on that blasted bucket list. Now, we are at least allowed to, in a limited capacity, to go guns blazing. But I think Rena and Bulk are too banged up to celebrate. Looking at Cassandra and Mary's face. Gods, I miss my flask. Aha! Nice. Very nice. I love it. Barely enough change, barely changed it because, like I said, I had so much fun writing this little short story. I ended up rereading and proofreading it as I was going along. So yeah, it's quite the fun little thing, and it's not even done. I think we still have 2 more entries for Arkan. Oh, look at that. Arkan, the founder of the Confederation, turned into a vat. So yeah, we still have Arkan to talk about, or his section of the story to talk about. That's where I made this drawing. Look at that. So yeah, I'm gonna save that. And I just saw the time, it's 7:30, so I have things to do. I'll go ahead and get them done. Some IRL things that needs to be done, unfortunately. But I do appreciate everyone stopping by. And yeah, don't forget to like and sub. It helps out a lot with engagement, of course, and gets the word out. So please go right ahead. Anyone lurking, anyone watching, just go ahead and spread the word. Tell your friends. I'm here, and I'll be back. And in the meantime, you all have a lovely one, and thank you. Bye-bye for now. Toodle pips.